It ended up being terrible, but he's just the kind of guy that has. He just doesn't care. He's if he wants to play, he's feeling it. I love his attitude.
He's like in the pubs though, like he does whatever he wants and he tests his ideas.
Yeah,
it's good.
He's like ranked 90, but you're like, if this guy legit took every game super seriously and did not experiment, he'd probably be ranked higher, but it would not help him.
He's like one of the few players where I feel like the way they play the game is exactly how they are in real life.
Oh my god!
It's like this weird phenomenon with him. When I met him, I was like, oh my god.
You're talking about TI 8 after party or 9?
It was you, me. Yeah.
I was there with you. I'm like, I think we're thinking about the same thing.
I love that dude.
Dude, no, Chris Lux. Okay, you guys have to understand. This is in a nice way because he. Okay, some people come off creepy. He was legit like flirting with everyone's girlfriends. For no reason.
I was gonna actually say this story.
Like, I remember me and my girlfriend were there, and I'm literally like,
Team Secret's gonna be tweeting about him now.
I'm like my arm around my girlfriend, and he's hitting on her.
I was literally watching. I was like, what the heck?
He's actually a beast.
Yeah, absolute legend. He kept sitting on a table too, and the table kept falling down, and he kept picking up the table and sitting on it again. Like, what the? And that's what it takes to be. You know, usually you would say doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. That's the definition of a good Dota player.
Especially mid players. Like mid players they're just built different. Yeah. Like they're different than every other Dota player, and Chris Luck, I guess he embodies that.
Yeah, the odd part about him is nobody was uncomfortable. Like he doesn't give you like bad vibes.
It was like come hang out with us.
Yeah, like come hit on our girlfriend.
We're not gonna tweet about you. We're not Team Secret.
Oh god.
All right, so we get that Bat Rider and the Phoenix band here.
Yeah, they're just banning to protect the TA. Anytime you pick a core like this, pretty much your next 3 bans from first pick are always gonna protect that 4th slot.
EG's drafts have been very formulaic, and they've been following it so far. So if they were first pick, they will always pick AA on the side of EG. If they're not first pick, they've banned AA every game. I should have actually noted that because I have that in my notes. But if they don't get AA, they always first round their 4 plus either their mid or off lane. And then in the second round, they pretty much always third pick Fly's hero. And then they pretty much always last pick RTZ's hero. So they are very consistent in what order they pick the roles.
And we saw that in the last major too, right? Like they would just pick Abbott's hero first 2. Well, they would just pick Storm first 2 no matter what. So
far, Mars is their most picked offlaner. They've picked it 2 out of the 4 games, now 3 out of 5. And Abed and RTZ have both played 4 different heroes. So even though they're first rounding Abed's hero half the time, it's not consistent with what they're doing, which is kind of cool.
EG is a team though. If they think something is broken, they will pick it over and over again.
First pick Terrorblade, never forget.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily bad. Like sometimes if they lose, it ends up looking stupid.
Yeah.
But I think EG's the type of team that's willing to bet on their knowledge over the enemy team's knowledge, like their understanding of a hero a lot of times. And I mean, they're a good team.
Their laning stage is the scariest in the world, I think.
I think so too. I think, especially with Ice joining, because whenever you ask any carry player, like who's the most annoying person to play against, like even as a support, it's always going to be Ice. He's just such a little shit in a good way. Like he just pushes everything. He will do stuff just to annoy you, even if it doesn't benefit him. Like he's in a mental game.
He's literally playing. He's like in a psychology major while he's playing a Dota game. So I don't know if you know this because there's somewhat of a trend on Reddit with Ice spamming on his stream. It became a thing that he would purposely TP out in front of people that he knew would have to go out of position to cancel his TP, but they could, like 100%. Yeah. He wasn't intending to TP ever, but he made the guy walk forward to stun him, and then his team was behind, and they would kill the guy. It's like the weirdest thing.
Just mental game.
Yeah, who does
straight mental game?
He's like TPing out with the expectation to get it canceled, so that guy canceling it dies. Like, who comes up with this crap?
Just pure bait.
Yeah, I have one like that. I've wanted to do for a long time.
What is it?
But I'm too bad to play now. It's so your team's smoking to defend a tier 2, right?
Yeah.
And you have two people TP in front of it.
Yeah.
And then cancel it. So the enemy team's like, oh, we can take this tower.
Oh.
But you're smoking there. And then you just, they don't think you have 5 anymore.
It'd probably be more believable if it was 1. And
yeah,
like,
just 1 even.
Yeah. And it would be 1, and then you'd like see the people around you and then cancel.
Yeah, cancel it. It's.
Oh, they don't have
always want to do that.
No carry, guys. Okay, so they. No, go ahead.
Nah, you go ahead.
I was gonna say they instantly picked 2 heroes, the Willow. The one thing I like about Willow is that it's a lot of counter initiation for the combos that EG's setting up. And I think you have to have some deterrent to this insane amount of damage aggression that EG's representing already.
EG just have a ton of magic damage, amped up by that ET. And I think I agree with the Willow. They needed something like this, some AoE control. I mean, Trident sort of gives you AoE control, but it's not like a real stun.
It's not a stun against heroes that are casting spells.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, Bloodseeker. This is a Hector classic, actually. He plays Bloodseeker, and you think it's going to be a semi-carry, but he will hard carry the game with this hero. He will go Manta. He will spam that Manta off cooldown with no regards for anything, and he'll TP to every lane, take all the farm, and he will out carry like any hero on this.
I'm not saying this is 100% going to happen, but Hector is the kind of guy. I look at these lineups, and if I think of the Bloodseeker, immediately comes to mind he's going to need a BKB. Hector is a player that I think there's about a 50-50 chance he never buys a BKB this game. And
yeah, I would not want to play this game without BKB.
I'm saying, that's Hector,
I would believe it with
that's Hector.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that will go Manta, Link, and Scotty just to make sure he doesn't die.
He's used to playing Wraith King. He's used to having a second life, you know?
Indeed.
But Hector's like he's also the carry with he has like a passive Midas. Every game, he just has so much farm. It comes out of nowhere.
And he's legit nuts.
He's really good.
I was talking to Rich on panel yesterday. You weren't there. I said I think he's the best farmer.
Yeah, he might be.
Just if you only take that one facet of the game.
Honestly, the South American carries in general, like I think HFN on no ping, like we'll see, he's a fast farmer.
Yeah.
I don't know what made it like that, but they're really
It seems so simple.
efficient.
Just hit more creeps faster, but there's a lot more to it than that. That's why it's so impressive.
Nah, just in general, for people who want to gain MMR, you should learn how to farm. It will
Watch
gain
the
you a
farming
lot of
patterns of
MMR.
these South American carries. You will learn something.
Do you think this is probably a mid Viper, right? You would say?
Oh, almost certainly.
Okay, because I don't think. I mean, okay, of course, it can't be carried.
So far, Mars has been off lane for Ice both games.
So they banned to protect the TA, but they didn't ban this Viper hero,
which is probably the #1 counter, right?
Yeah, I think Viper's really strong for TA. Not even just for the lane, but if you never toxin her without BKB, like you're just a melee hero now. Like the entire reason TA is strong right now is because of
Sideblade talent.
Yeah, Sideblade talent. The Neo build with Dragonlance. You can't hit anyone if you don't have any range.
I wonder if he's gonna skip the Dragonlance, like he just goes blink BKB.
Just because of Viper?
Yeah,
or?
play around the fact that you can't rely on that game plan.
I think it's probably a bit hard to commit in this game with a blink. I would like to. I like your idea, but maybe like some Dragonlance that's of BKB. I could see that working really well.
Okay.
Like I just don't want her to blink in, and then she just gets Mars Arena'd or something, or like she gets Viper ultied and kited. It's hard to play TA like
this. Pango band's really good. I think that it would have. I was thinking it for Whisper. He just loves playing these Chaos heroes. I don't think any ranged backline offlaners are going to fit this game. He needed a hero that just ran in and caused some disruption, and Pango's probably the best at that this game because it has the built-in BKB with the Rolling Thunder.
Is there anything else you think could allow him to get that disruption, though?
He's just such a weird player.
I think he does need to play a melee hero, though. Beast Coast have generally been pretty good at pairing. Like, if they have a range hero on 4, they'll have a melee hero. If they have a melee hero on 4, they'll pick a range hero.
I did see a Wyvern Phoenix offlane yesterday from them.
Yeah, they also do crazy stuff like that.
So they do very out-of-the-box, non-traditional things. I
think they need more team fight, so maybe if they can make Wyvern work, I don't know.
I think they might even go like Magnus or something.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's...
EG has second pick, right? Or...
Yeah, it's Beast Coast pick right
now.
Okay.
It's probably hard to pick a vulnerable Beastmaster. Okay.
That's a different approach. That's more of a map-oriented approach.
It's really good versus other Titan, and there was a time where you did need to ban Beastmaster versus Whisper. It was when Beastmaster was a bit of a different hero, you know, before the Aghanims, Imba ruined the hero, but
you can choose now, if you're able.
Biggest part about this last pick, because we talked about the overwhelming magic damage EG had, it is all removed by BKB. Like all of the other 4 heroes. So you needed a guy that's gonna pelt everyone who's in that BKB. And I think Terrorblade, usually the go-to when you're lacking tower damage as well as single target physical.
He also provides some lane push. I mean, Mars and Viper aren't bad, but having more lane shift, especially for a team like EG, definitely makes it easy to play. And I think you'll be able to like reflection the Beastmaster aura, and the most important thing to me is that they need a carry that can sort of stand and fight. Like if the enemy goes in with BKBs, they have sort of immobile cores into Mars and Viper. You need to be able to stand your ground, and Terrorblade does that really well with meta.
Okay. All right, well, with that, you heard from our analysts an outline of what may happen in this first game of the day, but let's just get to business and watch EG versus Beast Coast.
That's right, here we are, EG up against Beast Coast Lacoste. EG with a very solid draft, as it looks like, and Beast Coast trying to pull a fast one, the Beastmaster as that last pick. What do you thoughts on that?
Well, I gotta see Beastmaster is kind of boring, you know, especially now without the Aghanim Scepter. I don't see Helm of the Dominator being too viable on the hero anymore. We're definitely gonna need some armor, but it's definitely a very strong last pick TB for EG, where he is really not afraid of any heroes pretty much, except the Dark Willow, but stun once he gets that to that second, third item. I think this Terrorblade can easily take over the game. Over the last few days, we've seen, you know, what RTZ TB can do, sure. And they know how to utilize it. They know how to play around the Terrorblade. They know how to secure his farm, so looking really forward to it.
Yeah, especially in the matchups, like you said, against the Beastmaster. I think the panel mentioned, you know, the Reflection taking that in Beast Aura against Bloodseeker, and even TA, who can struggle to close the gap, get on top of the TB, and with his massive amounts of armor, actually take him down. But yeah, you're right, the Beastmaster's been a bit of a weird one. We had that Aghanims part of the meta where it was just played mid lane, rushing Aghanim Scepter. We haven't seen too much of Beastmaster in SA DPC, and when we have, it's very much been this medallion pipe rush. He just goes full aura bot. He doesn't really care about Helm or Vlads or anything like that. Just buff up his carries.
You're definitely going to need the Solar Crest here. You're playing into ET, which will remove all your base armor, and most of the damage is going to come from that Terrorblade.
Maybe a Crimson?
Maybe a pipe more. Okay. Let's see what he has. Phase boots, and yeah, that's a Solar Crest queued up. And considering how Whisper has been playing, even on the last rack where he decides to build all these tanky items, the mech, Guardian Greaves, he went for a Solar Crest one game, plus a Heaven's Halberd, just being able to tank up. So his itemization is really on point. He understands like where this damage is going to come from. We can see on the mid lane already a D-ward coming out from Schofield.
I love that bit of tech that was discovered, what, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever it was, where you're going into that tower range just behind the trees, you know, where the wards are hiding. That extra bit of vision gives the tower the opportunity to attack you. And that immediate D-ward from the Dark Willow does have to return back down to bottom lane, though, as RTZ and Fly, the Terrorblade Elder Titan, up against the Dark Willow lane. Usually with Whisper, you were mentioning, you know, he has a pretty good time, gets into the aura items with a Leshrac, with the Nature's Prophet, the Death Prophet even. It's mainly ranged heroes he plays. Do you think he can create that pressure on a TB with a Beastmaster?
Whenever there's a meta up, he's gonna struggle. We can already see Fly completely zoning him out. He gets close, ET, a lot of damage. There is one observer ward that I believe is inside, but they're still gonna do the body block. EG Fly just doing some real right-click damage right there.
Not fake ones?
Nope, not a fake damage.
Nice. Some good pummeling into Schofield Willow. Maraska not too happy about that as a top lane, the strong lane that the panel were mentioning. Crit and Ice, Lena Mars, the displacement ability of the spear, and of course that catch with the Light Strike Array. So good against the Treant, as they've already cleared through the majority of the trees, especially on that right-hand side of the lane, so much more difficult for him. As Schofield there, under tower, pops the Fairy Fire and turns. Bramble Maze catches Fly for a second, but it's just to be able to get your regen off there for Whisper.
Fly brought so much regen to this lane, has a Wind Lace to be able to close the gap, get actually some damage on the heroes, and now using a healing cell, bringing another while sitting on 6 tangos. Mid lane, this should not be an easy lane for Templar Assassin. One reason why they decide to pick Viper, the overtime damage, go through the refraction charges. Chris Luck has that bottle now, so we'll be able to refill it with the water rune.
Yeah, and a good spot there, Scriff, our observer, showing us that little small camp blocked out by the sentry. Something a lot of these mid laners do like to do right is clear that camp after pushing the wave.
And this allows Templar Assassin not to gain any farm. If she feels like she can't get farm in the lane, we'll need to go to big camp, maybe like even a medium camp where outpost is, so they're not gonna be that easy. Fly getting slowed down, but should be all right. This is, as we mentioned, free Terrorblade game, and he's off to a really good start. 14 CS, 8 denies, Beastmaster, 4 and 2 only. Fly doing a very good job pretty much zoning out both of these heroes, keeping the levels on himself low, while RTZ is getting all the levels, level 3.5 already.
Across the board as well, right, Lacoste. I mean, it's a great start from EG, level-wise, experience-wise, CS as well. Every single lane dominating their counterparts. 10 denies on TB, 9 on the Viper. They're starting to shut down Beast Coast, even from this very early portion. And you're right, that large camp needs to be taken by the TA. She has ditched the mid lane, can no longer stand up against that Viper's onslaught.
We've seen yesterday, it was Sumail who played against Chris Luck Venomancer.
Yeah.
He did really well on Templar Assassin, but the small camp was
Hold
not
on. They've got TB moving forward. I can't pass through the brambles and the boars.
I'm toying with you.
Opts
You
to
understand
instead
that, right?
kill off the boar as Fly. Oh, we'll need one more hit here. The Fairy Fire. Toying with Fly, try and juke into the trees. Whispers bait to the ET in. First blood comes for Beast Coast. Fly gets it up play from Schofield. He'll be the trade. RTZ does get himself up on the board.
It's still a very good trade for EG. RTZ getting solo XP. It was very close. Fairy Fire actually saved him there. Once again, RTZ getting all the solo XP on the bottom lane. Fly will TP, heal him up. That's what you need to do as position 5. Pretty much give tangos, give healing salves. You're very good at it, Gary. I remember one game when you had like 5 healing salves plus mangoes and clarities running around.
Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed with my trusty shovel, but then I realized it was a blessing in disguise, just running around with salves, healing my teammates up. Salve Spammer 2000. I'll rename myself already.
Good name. Panel talked about Bloodseeker K1 being allergic to a BKB. I see an early BKB. Maelstrom,
good.
phase boots, not messing around. There's a ton of magical damage that he definitely needs to get, and also against the Sunder, it doesn't pierce spell immunity, so you want to have that one covered as well on top of it.
Oh yeah, especially when your targets are the Viper and the TB. Getting on top of them and dealing with all of that great team fight reset and initiation, because you think about Stomp, I think the panel also mentioned about the Mars Arena, it's not just catch and kill. There's a great spear after Light Strike Array puts K1 in danger under the tier 1 tower. He won't drop for it. But
Bloodseeker has a ton of armor, 8, plus he also gets extra 4 from a chainmail, so it doesn't get as much damage from that tier 1 tower as other carries would.
And they are building up some pretty nice stacks here for Chris Luck. Would you like to see someone go and take that mid lane over for him, or is it fine just clearing camps and coming back from time to time? Well, hang on a second, Whisper. Oh, he's backed away.
Bottom lane's not doing really well. I don't think they can get any kills. Maybe a return kill on position 5, but RTZ should feel pretty safe. Has 6 magic on charges, has that Tango, getting closer to level 6, might even get the Sunder. So potentially Dark Willow can run to the mid lane and collect some XP while Templar Assassin is jungling.
Yeah, because you've got to do something about this, right?
It's a catapult wave.
Catapult waves there, and Crit's even maneuvered himself to try and get a bit more damage onto that tier 1 tower. Willow will come in from behind. Chuck a Bramble Maze towards them, drag the creep wave around, but now surrounded. 3 heroes there, the TP cancelled by the stop. And Arbet picks up. Nice kill for himself, as well as it's an illusion ring. This push isn't going to stop now. He'll cut the wave and keep it going. 3 heroes from EG into mid.
They didn't manage to keep the catapult alive, so that's kind of a bummer. Maybe Crit could have been the one tanking the tower, but they had no healing salves. So ET had one. Maybe that was the play, you know, just keep it alive instead of trying to go for a kill. Because Fly was already there, ready with a stop. Another LSA.
Onto the Treant.
Treant's very dead.
Yeah, absolutely is. And one by one, Beast Coast filtering to try and defend this objective. And he's gone for that 1-2-0 build. More in the Leak Seed, none in the Living Armor. So this tower, absolutely gone. The deny attempt, not quite on time from Schofield. And Arbed now opens up the map for EG, so it's going to be a real smooth breakdown of the lane stage here, where Terrorblade can start to think about swinging up the top, get another tier 1 going for themselves. A very steady and calm game for EG, while it feels like Beast Coast are the ones that need to hit their item timings.
This is pretty much the perfect scenario for EG. Panel talked about how EG is very strong in the laning stage, one of the scariest teams, and this shows why. Viper, after taking the tier 1 tower on the mid, has boots of travel ready, so he can farm the jungle and join anywhere on the map with it. Also finds a fairy trinket, very nice indeed.
And Crit coming in behind K1. Does he have another stun? 2 seconds for the Light Strike Array, and he is under vision. But K1 apparently speedy enough to get away from the Lina, so she turns on to Stinger instead. That's an absolute beatdown coming from OG. No one here from Beast Coast can show in the lanes or even show in their jungle. are getting chased around non-stop. Viper now arriving means Stinger's done for, and a killing spree for Abed, and this is that transition into the top tier 1 we were talking about.
Meanwhile, on the bottom, RTZ understands there might be some pressure, just sitting in jungle for now. EG playing very crisp this first 7 minutes of the game.
It's just, yeah, the natural flow of the game, right? Terrorblade wants to make that migration move up towards the triangle, maybe pressure top lane. Usually it's a little bit later on, you know, 9, 10, even 11 minutes in. So this is all happening very early on for EG. Maybe 2 minutes ahead of the curve even. Chris Luck coming up towards top.
It's too late. They already got the tower. Living armor, not enough. It's only level 1 living armor. Chris Luck, as you
The Sentry, the Radiant Sentry sees him.
he didn't want to fully commit. He probably checked if anyone has a dust, has a sentry, because he was running out of the range of it. Very nicely done by Abed.
East Coast. Yeah, that plan to go farm triangle, it's got to come to fruition now, and TA is going to sit there for quite some time. While EG just ramping up the pressure, playing all 3 lanes. Dragonlance, about 300 gold away for Chris Luck, so that's a nice bit of stats. Extra range, of course, but getting stomped up in the mid lane. Abed,
They have
back on top of TA, and you're right, they've got all this reveal. They'll see the TA trying to TP home. That's optimistic from Chris Luck, and definitely not successful. While in the jungle, Grit, he's been ruptured up. Getting on the Schofield, going to work on the Lina. The backup from RTZ. It is here with an arena, though. Straight towards the Bloodseeker with a spear, but he's held in place by the Brambles in that Nature's Grasp. Here's the kill. And you're right, Abed. He's now to TP top lane and looking for some bonus kills. Stinger slowed down into the Nether Toxin, and Abed, for that damage over time, will try and open it up for RTZ to get a finishing blow.
And EG is playing so aggressively. They get a good trade. Once again, first they get the Templar Assassin on the mid lane, just slowing her down. Templar Assassin doesn't have that much farm. You know, she has 68 CS sitting at the middle of the pack. A Viper taking pretty much the top of the network chart with 5,000. Holy smokes, dude. He's
farmed.
He's actually super farmed. And Fly will get a D ward.
It really is just step by step. Almost Dota by colours here by EG. Everything has been very simple, systematic. Flying with that D-ward. Looks like he will get surrounded by Beast Coast. 1 kill going their way.
Both supports on Beast Coast very underleveled. Level 4, 10 minutes in. I believe Dark Willow needs to get a tome. We'll see. And in this situation, as a Dark Willow, you don't max Shadow Realm. It's like you don't get any value from it.
Control.
You're all about that control. Bramble Maze and max out the Curse Crown. I would not be surprised if he just keeps the Shadow Realm level 1 and has like 4-1-4.
Probably the smart move. Situation here, we talked about how well EG are doing. On the flip side, Beast Coast needing to hit these item timings on the TA, the Bloodseeker, that Maelstrom, the Deso, the BKB, things like that. Where do you find this room? You know, who do you prioritize? Because these heroes, they don't feel like they can go and smoke gank or fight, do they?
They definitely need items. Like Templar Assassin now finished off the Dragonlance. Once she gets that level 10 talent, extra 100 side blades range, it's going to be much easier. Abed.
Well, he's trying to bait. Illusionary and Drop Cross. They don't know which one's real, and Whisper picked off by the Viper. Good little move from Abed there. Crit, of course, helping out to cancel the TP, something that Viper can't do on his own. While top jungle again, EG with the invade. Missing out on K1, terrorized towards the ET. He's ruptured up as well, but Schofield's being soloed by a TV illusion. RTZ just turns one Illu towards the Dark Willow, shoves her away, and here comes the spear. Arena, eyes, back onto Willow, pummels her into the ground. Chris Luck can't save his teammate. EG on a real roll now. East Coast will secure this large cap, stack for themselves, scrambling to pick up any gold they can.
TV illusion, scouting things out as a support, it's one of the most annoying things to deal with, because your right clicks don't actually deal damage. You also don't want to spend like Bedlam to kill it, and then you can't make any aggressive moves. Good thing going for Beast Coast is having this Treant Protector who can stall out the game. Unfortunately, Living Armor only level 1 at this point. He definitely needs some levels, get that Overgrowth online to be able to reset the fight.
Desperately needs it. He's gone, 2 points in the grasp, I guess, because of that situation where he wants to be pushing out the lanes a little bit faster.
We still
consistently
have not seen a single roar being used. They should be playing around the Beastmaster, full Solar Crest done on him, so there's going to be significant amount of damage, and also tankiness providing against the TB, ET, only 1 point in Aura. Eventually he will get it, just wants to be able to have that Echo Stomp maxed out as a point in ulti. you know, I listen to Fogged a lot. He is the
Master of ET.
ET expert, so he's like, you know, in this situation, at 2 points in Astral is enough. You need to max out the Echo Stomp and then go for the Aura. No need to be greedy.
No,
You're not the one who's dealing damage. And look at all the damage amplification that they got. Viper with the poison attack, reducing the magic resistance. Then you have ET removing the basic magic resistance with the Aura.
Hello again. Streak continuing for Ice. Dominating now on that wonderful offlane Mars.
Rich is not happy. Rich seeing Dark Willow. Mireska doing so poorly in this game, 1-4 and 2,
She's
sitting at the bottom of net worth. Not really contributing too much.
Yeah, 5-0 on the Viper there as well. Having a cracking time on Abed. And at the point you brought up about the Beastmaster, though, needing to play around him and the Roar, they're doing that now with Stinger. Not the best combo to go in with them, and Ice gonna move back towards the Beastmaster, getting out the open there. Beastcoast looking to force a fight around Roshan, but they lose their tree. 1-for-1 trade, I guess that's decent when you're this far behind already, but you're not able to take any semblance of map control. Metamorphosis is used here, so EG gonna ramp things up and push towards that tier 2 mid and even the Dire Triangle.
The problem for EG right now is they're so far ahead, they have no objectives to take. They took a tier 1 tower on the top, they took the mid, like they still can't kill the road, but you can see them like trying to go for something. Good kill.
He's made the jump on the Beastmaster. Incomplete. This is a great usage of the meta if they can get the kill, but the body block's not enough. Whisper too tanky with that. Like you said, Solar Crest, Phase Boost plus Living Armor makes him incredibly difficult to bring down in a short duration.
Do Radiant want their middle tower?
Now that's meta down. Something here Beastcoast could use to their advantage is a window, an opening for them to get out on the map and start playing their own game because they've not made any real initiative moves themselves. Crit smoke pops. RTZ jumps out of that arena. That's up to the Beastmaster. Here comes the crit already launched down his light strike array while Ahmed with a DD route off the crit. Slug and he stuns to stop the TP. Stop a second late.
And Viper, he also want to be able to scale, going into more damage-oriented items. Dragonlance, he is a dragon after all, like dragon/Viper, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And now going into Manta style to be able to get rid of those annoying silences, can dispel a Solar Crest, Overgrowth mostly. Like carry and mid players, whenever they see tree and they're like, Manta style is the item that I want to buy. Like screw everything else, Manta style is the thing to go.
I don't want to press my BKB for some foliage that's holding me into the place. I don't want that. Oh, RTZ sees K1. Bloodseeker trying to farm that camp on the low ground. Dangerous spot for the Roar in the back. Whisper finds the leader. Stumble flying towards K1 and that Laguna Blade will take him down. Bloodseeker out and Beastcoast still trying to respond to this, but RTZ there with a body block. Cancelled down by the Overgrowth. Still have the spear and splitter though, landing in towards Whisper, and that'll take him out of the game.
Nicely done. EG taking most of the farm on the map. PB farming triangle with the illusions. Got a body block the camp. Nope. It actually expires the illusion efficiency. RTZ is too good. Like 1 second before, it expired.
Clever man.
Jax
He knows his timing.
Tower is about to fall.
RTZ so strong right now, feeling he can just push straight onto that tier 2 top. 8,000 net worth on him, and it's a great job of Beastcoast, you know, keeping the TA competitive in the net worth, but then you start thinking about the Viper, the Mars, they are significantly ahead of their counterparts in the Bloodseeker and that Beastmaster.
It takes a bit more time than usual when you're playing against a Treant Protector, so you sometimes need to fully commit, go on the tower, bring that one extra person, be able to deal with the Living Armor, and now tier 2 tower is gone, we'll take the outpost. They still have enough resources to possibly defend the bottom.
It is one of those interesting scenarios though, right? Like you said, they're quite far ahead at quite an early point. As Whisper getting caught in the mid lane. RTZ just seems to be on his tail every step of the way, finding that Beastmaster once again.
Pretty much the perfect game from RTZ. So 0 deaths involved in a lot of kills, going for the correct targets in a team fight. Dark Willow not allowing her to use her spells, and going back to her skill build. one point in Shadow Realm, as we discussed, the more value you get from maxing out the Curse Crown, reducing the cooldown on it, possibly using another set of it, going into Shard. We'll still need to wait for that 20-minute mark, but once you get it, it's super annoying.
So yeah, EG in this position now, you mentioned it, with very few objectives that they can very easily go and take, because they've taken them already. The next real goal should be around that Roshan, and probably looking for a team fight to get into the pit. But I feel like Beast Coast are also aiming for that point as well, right? TA lineups, they want Roche, they want Aegis. They're getting now into the BKB on TA. They've got Bloodseeker getting into his own one, which is, what, about 1,400 gold away.
Yeah, they want Roche, but I also want to be tall, blonde, and handsome Gary, which is not happening. I just got to be more realistic.
Well, you're two of those things. You're tall and handsome.
I'm really not tall, but okay.
Nice. First round, not going to count the top. Dead as the initiation from EG blows up the both supports. A roll from Whisper. K1 thinking about popping himself into that fight, but the entirety of EG's all here. It's a 3v5. Chris comes in. He wants crit. Goes down the leader. TA has one kill and a TP home. See ya. I'm out of here.
Cannot stop it. They don't have ET ulti, nothing to stop the TP with. K1 dropping fairly low, going into BKB. After finishing the Maelstrom, this is going to be his defensive tool.
It's still farming. K1 greedily hitting creeps. Slowed down by the reflection. Isocides with a spear, and K1. He's stuck around for far too long.
Extremely greedy. Like, where could they possibly be? You know, do they want to farm a left part of the map, or do they want to farm Ancients? So, like, they just got 3 big kills, and it's kind of obvious that they're gonna go inside the triangle. Maybe just potentially send a TB illusion. Here we go again.
Straight onto Stinger. Just grasp, slows down Isocides, but he has that displacement tool, repositioning the tree and back into the rest of his team. And Stinger, he finds a tiny hidey hole there, but he can't get away from the grasps of EG. RTZ with yet another pickoff. While Whisper trying to just keep a little bit of pressure on this bottom lane, up towards the tier 3 tower, push with the boars. Gotta be careful to not get caught out. Dire vision. So it's a false sense of security for Whisper. Oh, they're gonna find him. Fly. Not even bothering. He's already blinked forward, hasn't he?
He thought that they have full team behind him. Was very worried. And I understand why. He's 7-0 and 4, high level. If he dies, feeds away a lot of gold to the enemy team.
Yeah, I don't want that. But like you mentioned, Manta style done after that box. Dragonlance. So incredibly tanky. 15 armor on him. He's got tons of armor on the Terrorblade. So Beast Coast game plan, the one fight that they really have to take, again, around that Roche pit, around that primary objective for them. How do they start the fight? Who do they go on? Do you try and blow up the Lina first?
That's the plan. Seems like that's just what they've been doing the last couple of fights. TA goes on Lina, pops the BKB, and here we go again. I've seen this movie a couple of times already.
They're trying to great arena though, still with a bedrock. Out comes the damage from Mareska's little friend, and Chris Lock with a BKB, and oh, he doesn't have a TP scroll. He's going to meld and hide. Can't escape.
Do they have any
Geniuses?
Spear?
Spear is there.
He gets it.
The Templar Assassin, Isocides.
Isocides with the back. Back. How does he know?
He just knows exactly where she is.
Yes. Oh, that was great. That was actually so good. First, Abed uses the Nether Toxin. I mean, they click on the heroes, Gary. I guess that's why. They saw there's no TP. Someone called it. Professional e-gamers paying attention to the item. Yeah, they were very good at it.
Using their eyes. I saw exactly what was up. K1 is farming Ancients, and that's why his BKB now arrives, but 30 seconds without a TA, and first Roshan going EG's way, 21-7 with a 7k lead. Scardy on the TV. This is starting to feel like an insurmountable amount of lead that EG has.
One thing that Beast Coast is very good at is getting the most out of the map when they feel they're not winning. Their games yesterday, things are not going well. They go for a sneaky little play. Tiny, Schofield manages to get Avalanche and 2 heroes, stop the TPs. They take 1 set of racks. Then K1 with Abba, plus Samantha style takes another set of racks. They lost that game, but they still always have some kind of a backup plan. It feels like split push is their way to come back into the game. Beastmaster right now on the bottom being very annoying, trying to force one rotation. Viper can be the one just being there and TP back to the fight with the Boots of Travel.
Sure can. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We saw this plenty of times when I feel like the mid to late game macro movements, that decision making of where to be on the map, is what beastcoast feel they do best.
Tower is about to fall.
And they are getting to a point where they'll have 2 BKBs, the blink on the Beastmaster, the jump and initiation for beastcoast. Could
Tower is under attack.
levy themselves a good team fight with just the numbers advantage if they blow someone up.
Middle tower fall?
Chris has to be wary though, his positioning. ISO Sarge has been so good with these blink forward, spear back.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Especially with the rest of EG ready and waiting around this tier 2 mid lane.
The side blades with level 10 talent and a dragon lance is insane. He actually got hit by Ice.
There we go. They jump on in. Arena there to try and save up the Viper. The rush to the damage. They blow through Arme. Beastcoast, the timing, they hit. Team fight comes in thick and fast. The fear as well. Isopoke and the ET caught up in it with a good enough turn from Crit. And the Scardy slow, hobbling into the TA. Turn around from EG. That's where their network lead lies. Good Sunder back on again and a triple for Crit.
RTZ not really afraid to use Sunders to save his teammates. You saw the other day when he popped it and used Satanic right after. Oh, trap. I don't think he's gonna die to it. Do they have any kind of a heal? They don't.
Any more traps?
Oh. Aegis will run out in 3 minutes, so he will keep it. TP's back to base. He is the king of the game. Like RTZ sitting on the hill. I'm not talking about the hill where he usually is, just sitting on a high ground, dealing damage with meta. Looked like a good opener for beastcoast. Mars still didn't die. I actually don't know how Ice lived. I moved my camera a bit to the right. I saw like TB, Dark Willow was coming from the side. We can see the power of Dark Willow and the Shard just being very annoying, putting up those Bramble Maze down and get out.
Yeah, that control, very important for beastcoast. You can start to see right at the end of the tunnel for them. Potential for them to get into a team fight, burst someone, get that early advantage, and then snowball out with the Bloodseeker. But K1, one more time it out. His BKB's there with a rupture onto Ice. Chris Luck, Sideblade splashing. The rest of the team starting to arrive here for BC, and RTZ, he's got Sunder ready in 1 second, also has the Aegis like you were mentioning, so first life still being held for a sec. Goes Crown and Brambles, gonna heal through, stunned up his team, and bottom lane, they've got the Laguna blade. Crit finds Whisper, he needs the Roar. He's starting to fight the Lena, but he's got to get out of there. Blink ready, no mana for TP though.
RTZ actually griefing. He goes in, stuns Viper, who's trying to TP bottom while they were making a move on Beastmaster. That would actually be a kill.
And his Aegis now gone. A reflection quickly towards Chris Lock. Another Cursed Crown, very irritating here. For RTZ to contend with, and that Arena Spear whiffing. Ice, the first misstep of the game.
Swindle Melons would have hit that Arena plus a Spear combo for sure.
Even him. Now, what's the reason for this? Like, Evil Genius is starting to take their foot off the pedal a little bit. For the past couple of minutes, they've been a bit sloppy from EG. Are they afraid of the BKBs of Beastcoast? Is it that bot lane that's been pushed in so often by Whisper, they have to keep coming back and dealing with it?
It's chip damage. One thing that they could do is have Viper on the bottom, as we already discussed, and possibly have one hero if they decide to make, like, ET is probably the best option, or if they want to make, you know, they are staying one step ahead, they will have Viper there, so let's smoke and gank him, because what he wants to do is TP back, so they can have ET possibly set up a trap for Beastcoast.
I think they caught a glimpse of something there. EG positioning themselves as if they know the smoke has happened, and yeah, Chris Luck, I think he showed under a ward or something, because they were really heavily pinging on that side of the map, so Beastcoast don't get a pick off. They get the mid lane cleared out by TA cutting wave. Tier 1 top lane grabbed up by BC. While EG doing a very similar thing there with a TB illusion, safely cutting wave themselves in the mid. And now we get into a situation where map control is paramount. It really is key. We're looking towards second Roshan as no team really wants to break up the ramps towards high ground just yet, because the lead, even though it's 10k for EG, it doesn't feel like they've got the substantial amount of damage or push to break through the base of Beastcoast.
They have these big items, especially on Lina with the Aghanim Scepter.
He fuels himself. Ice. He blink mules himself.
Too quick, he's too quick with the buttons. Happens to best of us.
And now maybe an opening. Terrorblade waiting in that dire triangle. Still wants to go for the tier 2 and even a reflection, pushing forward against Schofield.
Radiant's top tower is
High
under
ground being
attack.
pressured top lane though, like K1, they get cleared through tier 1, tier 2, got a bit of damage onto the tier 3 tower. And again, next Roshan, 2 minutes 20 seconds. They've opened up this map for themselves beautifully.
This is the big timing for both of these teams. Second Roshan, most important Roshan in the game pretty much, because he drops so many stuff. It's like having Christmas presents, all your relatives coming in, you don't know they're coming.
It's like piñata.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Getting a cheese aegis, plus a shard. Shard is... who could possibly pick up the shard for EG? Mars is okay, Melina also with Aghanim Scepter, but they might prioritize, give it to the Viper, which causes poison attack to lower armor by 1 per stack, and then it also is better for sieging.
Right sides in again. There's the arena spear down and a great splitter on the tree. Blown through Stinger, and Chris Luck having the TP again. BKB up, and out he goes back to Fountain, while Crit hounding K1 and forcing him out of there as Schofield is chased by the Viper. 2 supports from beastcoast.
Dyer's middle tower
Very
is
likely
under
going to meet their end. Demise is inevitable for Schofield.
It's just not enough damage. We've seen the combo, Rupture plus the Terrorize. EB a bit too tanky, sitting at 3000 HP right now.
This time, man don't miss. Whisper with a BKB that forces Size to reconsider his options. Can't go for that Yule spear play anymore. They keep the pressure going. Bot lane pushing in. EG still in this position, very forward in the mid lane. But they've always got to keep coming back. I mean, the first 15 minutes was very much beastcoast sitting back, farming and waiting, EG making all the moves. But recently it's been beastcoast dragging them from one side to the other.
They're very good at it. I want to see EG make a play on the bottom lane, possibly set up a Tinker Ward. This is where Beastmaster's constantly hiding.
Oh, he saw him, I think, for a second. He's picking him. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Tries the spear, good attempt from Ice. But unfortunately off the mark. And then TPing back out. Rejoin his squad. Top outpost is EG's, while Beastcoast, they're under radiant vision. And that means Ice with a spear launching in towards Raska. Chain stunned up, but a godlike streak still unkilled. 9-0-8.
RTZ is just having a blast in this game. Reminds me of the game yesterday with a Timbersaw, where he managed to die only when decision was made to hit the tier 4 towers, stand there, pretend to be AFK. But they repositioned him a couple of times. You know, brought 5 heroes.
Yeah.
Pretty much the story of this game. Once he gets that BKB, it's gonna be very, very hard to kill. Meta up in 30 seconds. RTZ has Manta style, has a casual Sange on top of it. Like you can disassemble it, make SMY. But as we mentioned, Manta style great against the silences, and most importantly, the overgrowth.
Absolutely is. I mean, chip down here onto the tier 3s against living armor. Doesn't feel particularly good for EG. Stinger's just going to stick there. Keep spamming out the heals. While we look at the rest of this map, sure, EG have top lane, mid lane pushing in. Roshan 45 seconds away. But would you believe it? The madman himself, K1, has pushed the bottom lane.
Again, there are no shards in this game. The only hero that bought a shard is Dark Willow. Like, that shard was really good. Got a bit nerfed.
Jax thinks Radiant's bottom
It
tower
reduces
is about
cooldown by
full.
2 seconds and stun delay by 1 second, so you cannot TP out. Before it was 4 seconds.
How do you rate the Bloodseeker shard without like pure percentage-based damage?
It's good, you know, but you don't want to buy it. You do not want to invest gold in it.
Oh no, but Raska again!
Sticking
The
coit.
poor wee lass, she's dead.
I don't think you get too much value out of the shard this game anyway on the Bloodseeker. You want to still prioritize items. It's very good against, let's say, tanky heroes like a Bristleback who have a lot of HP. It's, you know, even in this game, TB has a ton of max HP, so you still get some value, but I think he does not want to buy it.
Wait for the Roshan, maybe get it from Roche instead. Oh, AG back out on the map, forcing beastcoast to come back, and they are getting much more effective farm, right? The double ancient camps being cleared. We see the Viper on the left, TB on the right, so they are getting that incredible acceleration from all those ancients being farmed up. But there, I believe he scouted Roshan, but decides to TP mid to keep this map pressure up and force beastcoast into a position where they have very limited options.
So many auras on EG. You have AC, Vlad's done with the ET on top of it. You get Beastmaster aura with the reflection.
This Lena's huge. 13,000 net worth, yeah, ahead of Whisper's Beastmaster even, but look at this Beast, it's the Beastcoast special. At any point in the game, you know your high ground be threatened. Schofield, that's 4 times in a row in that exact same spot. Top dive jungle did again. Oh, Bloodseeker. Don't want to stick around here, right?
They're doing it.
He's bottom number, forces the BKB out, but you're right, they're taking down the tier 3 in the barracks. Whisper, Chris Lock, and the Treant there, destroying buildings while RTZ grabs the Aegis. It's all smoke and mirrors.
It's a good move from beastcoast. They got something out of it. They understand we cannot fight inside the Roche pit. It's a bit too strong against ET, against the Terrorblade. Who picked up the shard? It was actually Lena. I like that. Because she has a Aghanim Scepter, plus a shard, and yeah, spell amplification, level 20 on top of it. So her shard allows you to have AoE Laguna Blade. You can ground target it on top of it.
And that goes into Willow Shadow Realm, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
So now that Shadow Realm no longer as great a save as it once was. RTZ, emboldened by his Aegis, and this Metamorphosis. Straight up behind that tier 3 tower. Living armor with a cliff, though, extends the duration at which TV has to stay up here.
A bit more mana.
Minus too much, and with a great arena spear, Captain Chris Lock. In comes the Scarlet damage, and TV raining hellfire upon the beastcoast side. Good looking to play as well, but Chris Lock refraction tries to melt and hide away. Turn around from beastcoast for the moment. Whispers obliterated. They're bleeding out. One by one, they filter in and all fall flat, dying. As EG turning this great laning stage, an early advantage into a middle lane of barracks, and probably the game.
This is all it took, and why EG was not too worried about all that split push. Yeah, you might lose one set of barracks, but they know we group in, we take a fight. RTZ is just unkillable at the moment. Has that Aegis, will respawn with mana. Right now sitting at the 200 mana, so he can spam his spells.
And he's the only one showing. The way for beastcoast here to win the team fight is to get to the back and find the switchy support. RTZ sunders K1. Yeah, back to Fountain you go. Can't deal with me. I'm a big bad TB. 2 lanes of barracks for evil geniuses, and top lane is also pushing in pretty hard.
Creep wave. Yeah, going through Nature's Grasp, another arena.
Straight onto Treant. Yet again, support on easy pickings. EG have a beyond godlike Mars.
They can easily just go to the top lane. Aegis available on TB plus Elder Tunic, so it even has some evasion on top of it.
He basically wants to die at this point. Give me some mana back, please. I want a second life. This team fight execution from EG has been really sublime.
Pop Satanic, kills 2 boards, back to full HP, Sunder available. You need to be very careful, there's not enough lockdown.
There's the roar. They're trying to get in and focus down this Lena. Fly with the Earth, but it goes back towards the no, and K1 in trouble. Has to bail away. BKB's done, and Dark Willow following the tree into the grave. Chris Luck really struggling to find any form of impact, and GG is called. In comes RTZ. He wants more kills. Stat padding time for the Mars. Come on, give it to him. The Madman wants more. His case is blood in the water, but Chris Lock will survive towards the very end of the game. But a beautiful performance from EG from start to finish.
It was a 10th pick Terrorblade. They knew they had nothing, no real spell damage that TB is afraid of. The only hero was pretty much Dark Willow, and that